Welcome pre-concept students to your very first video of your 6th grade school year. This is Miss Osman. This is how you guys are going to be getting your notes. You will be taking them through a video that I make that you guys will watch on your computers, and it'll be your homework the night before we talk about a new concept in class. Hopefully this way I can help with anything that you are confused about during school instead of you being confused at home. And so hopefully that'll help fix anything. But please make sure that anytime you have questions, you're emailing me and you're coming in and talking to me before school and after school, because I do not want you to be confused at all. So we are going to get started here. So you need a notebook. You need a notebook specifically for math class. Please make sure that you never rip any pages out of this notebook. You don't do anything to this notebook. It is necessary for you to have this notebook with you every single day in class and every single day at home, because you will need it pretty much all the time. So make sure that your notebook is labeled pre-concepts with your name on it some way, shape, or form. If you can't write it on the front cover because you need Sharpies and don't have any, that's fine. You can write it on the inside as well. What I want you to do is somewhere on one of the main front pages, okay, whether it's one of these pages or this page or inside cover, however you want to do it, you are going to take your by the numbers that I will have given back to you that is completed. Mine is obviously just a blank one. And you are going to cut around the outside edges and you are going to glue it into your notebook. That way it's another place that your name is located. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to cut mine out. It does not have to be perfect. I am not judging you or grading you on your cutting skills. I just need you to cut it and glue it in. If you are cutting and gluing in my class, because there will hopefully be days that I will give you time, other days you might not have time to cut and glue in my room, there will be things that are called glue sponges, and you will use that glue sponge to glue in to your notebook. I do not have them ready making this, so I get a glue stick. So all you want to do, glue around the outside edges, make an X.
Mom.
Shh, remember, Mom, you should be quiet, baby. Sorry if you hear my daughter. Hopefully I don't always have my daughter in these videos. But glue that down right there. That way then your name is also listed and I know whose notebook is whose. If you could also somewhere add your period number, because I can't always remember who's in what class period. So glue that down and you will have that good to go. Then what you're going to do is you're going to flip to the very first page of your notebook, and this is what your table of contents page or your main page is going to be. We're not going to actually make a table of contents, but you should have picked up one of these pieces of paper from my class. And what you're going to do is you're going to, once again, glue this down using your glue sponge or your glue stick, whatever you have on you. And here's how you glue it down. You are going, there are 3 lines right here. You need to fold on the center line because we are making what's called a tab divider. And then it should look like this. So I'm going to fold first. Then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to glue just like so. Now I don't really care how you glue it. If you want it to be a tab and you want it to stick off the page, you need to line up your first line with the edge of the paper. If you do not want it to be a tab, then you can line the line that you folded up with the edge of the paper, but it's your choice. I like a tab, so I'm going to line the first line up with the edge of my paper, and I'm going to glue it down like so. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to finish gluing the back side down. And we will do that exact same process every single unit. Beautiful, sweetheart. We're going to do that every single unit that we do in this class. So then once you have that done, I am going to have you write up at the top, Unit 1, Data Analysis. And this is everything we're going to be learning about this unit. We'll learn mean, median, mode, and range. We'll learn about line plots, histograms, box plots, are also known as box and whisker plots. We'll talk about center, spread, and shape. And we'll talk about population, sample, and bias. Once we've gone through all of that, we will take a unit test, which will be somewhere in the month of September. Okay? So this page is really just a blank page. If you want to decorate it, draw on it, that is yours. This is your notebook. Do with what you will. Nothing else will get written on this page. So then what you do is you're going to turn the page, and you are now going to take the pink sheet of paper that you should have also grabbed from me, and we are going to cut that down as well. So you just need to trim around the outside edges. Once again, it does not have to be perfect. You are not getting graded on that at all. And then, once again, use your glue sponge or your glue stick. Go around the outside. X in the middle if needed. And then I'm going to glue it directly on the back page of that tab divider because I don't want to waste any paper. I'm going to be using this notebook a lot. So the more paper I waste, the more chances I'm going to need a new notebook. Okay, I'm all done with my glue, so I'm going to put it off to the side. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to make sure it is closed so it does not dry up. Especially with those glue sponges, guys, make sure they get closed. So, mean, median, mode, and range is the very, very first topic we're going to be learning about, and we'll talk about this on Thursday and in Friday during class. This is kind of your cheat sheet. I do want you to put the date up at the top, that the date you are taking the notes is 8/28/2019. If we don't ever have a title, I'll have you title it, but we have a title right here, so there's no reason for us to give it another title. So if we look at this page, the easiest one most students remember is mode. Okay, we remember it because it's M-O mode, M-O most. So the mode is the number that occurs the most, and there's that MO again, so MO mode, MO most, the most in a given data set, meaning a set of numbers. So there can also be no mode, meaning if each number appears only once, there's no mode. Or more than one mode. Meaning, if the 6 and the 7 both appear twice, the mode is 6 and 7. It can be both. So MO mode, MO most. So we're going to take this arrow down to our example here. Here are our numbers. We have 8, 4, 12, 3, 0, 5, 4, and 6. I want to find the number that appears the most often. I only see an 8 once. A 4 is twice. And every other number is only one time, which means 4 is the mode since it occurs the most in the given data set. So remember, MO mode, MO most. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit for you, so hopefully it's not as far away as it just was. Sorry about that. Turn a little light on. Maybe that'll make it a little easier to see. Sorry guys, new to this whole recording thing. Figure it out eventually. So after the mode being the most easiest, range and median are your next two easiest. It really just depends on which you prefer. Okay, if we go to median next, okay, the median is the number in the middle of an organized given set of data from least to greatest. What that means is in order to find the median, you have to find the middle number, and it has to be in order from least to greatest. So when we follow this arrow down to our example, step number 1 is to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So we have 0, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 12. We then need to find the middle number. Put that there so we don't get that confused. Some people do this, where you do 1 in front, 1 in back, 1 in front, 1 in back. You can use your pencil or pen and cross them out. 1 in front, 1 in back, front, back, however you prefer. It is your choice. So if I do this one, and I go front, back, I end up left with 2. So I don't have just one middle number, I have 2. But I cannot have 2 middle numbers. So what I need to do is I need to use the mean, which we haven't learned yet, so I'll teach you that right now. You need to use the mean to find the exact middle number. Now this one's pretty basic. Okay, it's the number that is directly between 4 and 5. It should always be between 4 and 5, or whatever the two numbers are. If it is not between those two numbers, you know you did something wrong. But the way that you can find it foolproof, if you do not know the exact middle number, is you can add the two numbers together. So I would do 4 plus 5, and I would get 9. And then I would divide that number by 2, because I added two numbers together. And 9 divided by 2 ends up being 4.5. So the median in this case is 4.5. You can only have one middle number. You cannot have 2, which is why you have to add them up and divide it by 2. Or in this case, if you know that 4.5 is the middle between 4 and 5, you can just write 4.5. You don't have to do all that work with it. But if the numbers are farther apart and you don't know the exact middle number, this is what you do, which is what the mean is. The mean is the sum of numbers in a given data set divided by the total number of numbers in the data. Another word for mean that you will hear very often is average. And you do need to know that these words are interchangeable, because you will hear that word average quite frequently in math and science. The older you get, average is used a lot more than mean is. Mean is really only a math word. So you really only hear mean in math, where average you hear everywhere. So if we read this definition again, it is the sum of the numbers, which means step number 1 is to add all your numbers together. So I need to take 8 plus 4 plus 12 plus 3 plus 0 plus 5 plus 4 plus 6. You can write this out, you can do it in your head, you can use your fingers. However you need to do it to add the numbers together, go for it. Just always show me what you are doing. You have to tell me that you're adding them all together. I don't need to see the math written out, but I need to see the step of you writing those numbers that you are adding them together. Okay? So then what you do is once you add them together, in this case it's 42, you then have to divide that number by the total number of numbers, which means if I count this up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total numbers. So my next step would be to take 42 and I would divide that by 8. Okay? Now if you do this problem, you are going to notice that you are not going to get a whole number answer. Homework assignments will typically tell you to round either to the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth. If you do not round properly, you will not get the correct answer because you will be off. So please make sure you know how to round, and if you don't know how to round, you are reviewing that, which you should be on Alex. So if I do 42 divided by 8, my answer ends up being 5.25 or 5 and 25 hundredths. So if I asked you to round to the hundredth spot, this would be your answer, 5 and 25 hundredths. If I asked you to round to the nearest tenth, that's the 2 spot. So the 2 looks at the 5 tells the 2 to go up. So my 10th spot would be 5.3. So it is based on whatever you are supposed to round to be your answer. So make sure you read those directions very, very carefully or you will get those questions wrong. Last thing that we need to learn about is the range. The range is the difference between the greatest and the least number in a given data set. So same numbers. First thing I need to do is I need to find my greatest number. So the greatest number in this case is 12. Then I want to find the smallest or the least. The least number is 0. I need to then subtract the 2. So 12 minus 0 is 12, which means in this case my range is 12. It is the difference or the span between your smallest and your greatest number. So that right there is mean, median, mode, and range. That is one of each. That is your cheat sheet. Use it, keep it, refer back to it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to give you guys 2 examples. So I'm still going to write mean, median, mode, and range. It's very beautiful, sweetheart. I'm going to write the date one more time up at the top. Every page, I want the title and the date. And I'm going to give you guys 2 examples. So here's example 1. Then I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to write example 2. On each example, I want you to make sure that you order the numbers. I want you to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So order, mean, median, and mode, and range. So in example 1, Here are your numbers. Do 20, 16, 12, 11, 9, 7, 12, 13. Okay, we'll leave it at that for the first one. And then on example 2, we're going to do 6, 3, 7, 8, 9, 4, and 1. So those are going to be your 2 examples. What you need to do on your own is you need to do these 2 examples using your cheat sheet, and then on Thursday, when we get together, we will go over these examples, see how you did on your own, and that way I know who was understanding it just based off the notes, who needs more practice, and things like that. So your homework is to finish these 2 examples and only these 2 examples. Make sure that, remember, Alex is due on Sunday, so you can always work on that. Otherwise, this is all you need to get done for homework on Wednesday. I hope that you enjoyed the video and are enjoying the notes. I'll probably ask you later how you think it's going, whether it's going well or not. This is something new to me as well. So I do like feedback as long as it is helpful feedback, not mean feedback, I guess you can say. So if you have helpful feedback for me, that would be much appreciated. But otherwise, hopefully you like this and this is helpful for you, because that is why I am trying it out. So finish these 2 examples, and when you're done with these 2 examples, you are done with your homework for the night, and I look forward to seeing you guys the next day. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Bye.